up yourselves each and every time for coming through. And as always, guys, make sure you smash the like button and make sure you sub to the channel as well if you're new, as well if you're new in here as well. So yeah, man, I've had a busy weekend. Obviously didn't stream yesterday, but did manage to catch, I think, was it the first half of the Arsenal and Aston Villa game. I didn't see the full game, but obviously, caught the result. And again, man, I wasn't surprised with the result, to be honest with you. By all accounts, from what I've heard, I heard that Aston Villa were by far the better team. I heard that, there was certain, I think in terms of how the game played out, I think Arsenal, some fans might have felt that they should have got at least something from the game. But the problem is, for me, for Arsenal, it's nothing different to what I've been saying already. Am I surprised that Aston Villa beat them? Not really. We've seen this season after season where, Arsenal, when it comes to certain teams, it's a struggle for them. Let's be honest, And as I said, man, I think looking at the table now, you'd have to say that the pressure's on Arsenal. Definitely on. Big up to Baz One Diva. Big up to Fitz LCN. Big up to Joshua 45 as well. Yeah, big up, man. Big up for coming on. Good evening to you guys as well. How'd the fight go, Gav? Yeah, listen, man. Good fight. Obviously it's up in my member section. So again, if anyone wants to go and view the fight, obviously once you become a member of the channel, then obviously the fight's been put up on there. So it's in 3 sections, the fight. So yeah, the fight went well, man. So as I said, I'll leave it for you guys to judge and give me your opinions based off of that, man. But yeah, no, listen, it was good, man. It was a good fight. I enjoyed the fight, and as I said, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. So again, if you do want to view the fight, then it's on my members only section for you guys. But big up anyway. So yeah, just getting back on to Arsenal. There's a few things that I want to touch on. Again, I didn't see the game for obvious reasons. Yeah, big up my guy Fitz. No worries, man. No worries. So I didn't see the game for obvious reasons. Obviously I was getting ready for the boxing. But what I have to say, and this is first and foremost with Arsenal's Mikel Arteta's team selection. Yeah. Now, this is why for me, Mikel Arteta and Arsenal are not winning this league. I've said it from the start of the season. Even when Arsenal were in good form and everyone else was getting beat, not showing any form. To think now that Man City are 2 points behind. To think that Aston Villa, who started off in the bottom 3, are 3 points behind Arsenal. Crystal Palace today going into 4th. As I said, like this season, it's got a long way to go. And there was a lot of Arsenal fans that were getting carried away. They were saying that Arsenal, are definitely winning this league. I had some people come on here tell me Champions League title, they're winning all of it this season. Even hyping up a lot of these players. And I just said, look, it's 13 games into the season. You cannot make nothing of this at the moment. The fact that you've got, I want to say because Manchester United now, I believe, are in the bottom half. I think they're 12th. I think they could be 12th. And I think they're on 22 points. And I think from 12th to, I think, 4th place, it might be something like 5 points or something like that. Yeah. Now, as I said, it's a tough league. It's very, there's a lot of teams that are all bunched in together. Yeah. And Arsenal, you could probably say, were the one team that was showing the most consistency. And they were the ones that looked like they were pulling away. But I think if anyone that's watched Arsenal for, any amount of time, you will just see that Arsenal do this, And when I'm seeing that Eberechi Eze, and I'm gonna touch on Eberechi Eze because I saw this coming, and this is a sign of why for me Arsenal will just not get over the line, because when it comes to the crucial decisions, Arteta is gonna revert back to type. So to think that Eze got a hat trick against Tottenham, yeah, and he was literally unplayable against Tottenham. Should have had four, by the way. To think that he got a hat trick, which basically won Arsenal the game against their North London rivals. Now Martin Odegaard has come back. He then starts Odegaard in the 10, and Eze gets shifted out to the left hand side. Now, what makes me laugh here is that anyone with any functioning eyes will know that Eze is not a left winger. Eze has qualities for he has qualities to play out on the left, but he's a number 10. He needs to be playing central so he can get onto the ball. If you're gonna play a different formation, if you're gonna play like a three at the back, 3-4-2-1, he can play as one of the left tens. Yeah. But in this system that Arsenal play, if you are playing with a number 10, it has to be Eze, not Martin Odegaard. Now, the fact that he played Eze out on the left, and then Eze had a poor game and then came off, it just shows you that this manager, Mikel Arteta, he has no allegiances to players that are not really favoured over others and that are showing form. Because how he can haul off Eze when Eze really has been one of Arsenal's best players, definitely in attack. And then Odegaard now comes back from injury. Odegaard plays a full game, I believe, and Eze then comes off. That is sure to upset morale in the dressing room. Because I don't care what anyone says, yeah. I'm looking at Eze right now and I'm thinking, Eze can't seriously be happy with what's going on here. Because he come to the club, obviously he's a boyhood Arsenal fan, former academy player as well. And he probably come back to the club thinking to himself, he's gonna be crucial for this team. Yeah. And the fact that obviously Odegaard was out injured, and now Odegaard's back, and now Eze finds himself on the left hand side. Tell me, like that's not good management for me, because he should have just kept Eze where he was. I know Odegaard's the club captain, but sometimes if players are on form, or if players are proven to be an asset for your team, then just keep him in the lineup. But the fact that he chose to play Eze still, but play Eze from the left and play Odegaard in the 10, that's where for me Arsenal came unstuck. Because really and truly, what he should have done is just start Eze in the 10 if he wanted to play Eze, and then probably play some pace on the flanks or play Trossard out there. But the fact that he knew he couldn't drop Eze, because you can't drop Eze because the guy scored a hat-trick against Tottenham, and even though he didn't score against Chelsea or Brentford, he was contributing for Arsenal. But all of a sudden, Odegaard comes back, and he's not going to drop Eze, but he's going to play Eze out of position and then eventually drop him, which is poor management for me. But this is what I'm trying to say to you with Mikel Arteta and with Arsenal. When it comes to crunch time, these guys are just not going to get the job done, unfortunately. Even if you look at the games they've played so far against, I'm going to say, the top 6 teams, or the teams that would have been in the top 6. Liverpool, they lost. Man City, they luckily got a point. Chelsea, they drew against 10 men. And I believe if Caicedo doesn't get sent off, Chelsea win that game. And then Aston Villa, they get beat. So against the tops, against four teams that we're looking at that will be figuring in the top 6, yeah, they've managed to get 2 points. Man City and Chelsea. Lost to Liverpool, lost to Aston Villa. And again, what can we really take away from Arsenal this season? Why people think that they're going to win? Why people think they're going to win the title? And again, I would like to hear from Arsenal fans to let me know, why do you think Arsenal are still, favourites, or why do you think Arsenal will win the title? Because for me, I've said it all along, Man City are winning this title, no doubt. You know, Arsenal always do this. They always start well at the beginning, then start dropping off through the season. The second they lose, once the team just starts crumbling. Yeah, exactly. And I think the warning signs for Arsenal, yeah, is the fact that against the top six teams I've just mentioned, and those four, they haven't won a game yet. I don't think people are actually taking much notice of it. They haven't won a game. I mean, you could say Newcastle. You could say Newcastle, but again, that Newcastle game, I mean, they were fortunate against Newcastle because Gabriel really should have been sent off. And I know ironically, Gabriel's the one that scored the winner. But Gabriel really should have been sent off. But if we're looking at the top six teams, you're looking at Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. You'd probably say Aston Villa. And then, yeah, between probably Tottenham or Newcastle, I would probably say. So again, yeah, they've beaten Tottenham, they've beaten Newcastle. But I think Aston Villa, as I said, lost. Liverpool lost. And then you've got the two draws against City and Chelsea. And really and truly, as I said, both of those games should have been losses, And I think in terms of injuries, they have got a big squad. But you look at, Gabriel, who's out. Saliba's got an injury, even though I think Saliba probably will be back next game. I think Declan Rice is on risk of getting another injury as well. I think he's been playing way too many games. Obviously, they've got Odegaard who's come back from injury. Even Saka needs to be careful because, Saka did come off a long injury last season. And, the injury he got, it wouldn't surprise me if he does go down. But yeah, no, I think that's why I've titled it. Is this where Arsenal's season unravels? Because I do definitely think that loss to Aston Villa, that would have taken a lot out of Arsenal, in my opinion, because going away from home, as I said, yes, they beat Newcastle, but as I said, the Newcastle game. As I said, I don't really count that as Arsenal winning that game because again, Gabriel, who scored the winner, should have been sent off definitely for what he done to Walter Marder. So again, going away to Aston Villa, away to Liverpool, they've lost them games, and it's the games against Tottenham at home, that they've won. So I think there's problems for Arsenal coming forwards, and to think that City, and what people need to be wary of, yeah, City haven't really got into their groove. City haven't really been that good, in my opinion. But yet, City find themselves 2 points behind Arsenal with them still to play. And I'm telling you this now, when City play Arsenal, City will be Arsenal. Because Arsenal, as we know under Arteta, he's going to go there to try and get a point. Now, if you go there to try and sharp shop against Man City, it's only a matter of time before they get through. And as I said, man, you can't be doing that against a City team. And this will show that game against Arsenal, against Man City, that will show what Arteta's on because the squad that he's got, you would think he will go to Man City to attack them. Because as we've seen so far, Man City defensively, they're a bit shaky. But if he goes there to try and sharp shop, again, what have we really learned from Arteta? Because Arteta hasn't really shown too much for me since he's come to the club. I'll be honest. I know a lot of fans rate Arteta highly and think that he's got them respectable. But again, this guy's got no trophy in 7 seasons, which is poor. So again, if you're an Arsenal fan and you think he should stay, then please let me know. So Randolph George says, you're talking shit. Well, rather than just say I'm talking shit, tell me why I'm talking shit. Go on, construct a sentence together and let me see what you've got. We all know how the Arsenal story goes. The wheels come off for Arsenal over the festival period. It's written in the stars. Listen, we had people coming on here saying that they were winning it all. They were winning it all. And this is what happens with Arsenal. They get everyone's hopes up. And then when it really matters, they crumble, And again, I'm not wary of Mikel Arteta. I mean, why would you be? Any club that employs a manager for over 6 years without winning a major trophy, and you still want them in charge, yeah, you're not a serious club. Just like my club, Manchester United, we're not a serious outfit at the moment, and Arsenal can be considered like that as well. You know, so Arsenal have yet to play a full strength team, and this is the loser mentality, which is why Arsenal won't achieve nothing. There is no team in the world that is at full strength every game. So to say that Arsenal haven't yet played a full strength team, I'll tell you Arteta's full strength team, and I'll tell you where you're lying, yeah? Because Gabriel Saliba is your best centre back pairing. They've played. He plays Calafiori at left back. He's played alongside Gabriel and Saliba. He plays Timber at right back, David Raya. That back five have all played together in more than one game. Declan Rice, Martin Zubimendi, Martin Odegaard have all played in the front three. Have all played in the midfield three. Saka, I would start Eze. If you replace Saka, Eze, and Gyökeres, all those players there have all started in Arsenal's best team. So when people start saying they have yet to play a full strength team, that's a complete lie. Because what players have not played in Arsenal's full strength team? So when you're coming on there saying stuff, at least check what you're saying. Yeah? Did they play the last few games where Arsenal have dropped points? Okay, so let me understand, yeah? Let me understand. So from all my years of watching football, which is 30 plus years, we're now in the realms, yeah, of a team having to have all of their players fit so they can win a game. Don't you realize this is a Premier League season? You're not gonna have all your players fit at every time. That's why it's a long season. That's why you have a squad. Yeah. So to say that they haven't played the last few games where Arsenal have dropped points, well, yeah, that's why you have a squad. Doesn't make sense. You think every team's gonna play full strength team throughout the whole season? That's not how it works. Like, I'm not sure, Randolph George, if it's your first time watching football, but I'm just surprised you've come out with that, man. So when you're coming on there saying I'm talking shit, you need to check what you're saying, because what you're saying makes absolutely no sense. Tell me a team that has played their full strength team for every game. What are you talking about, man? You can't keep the same starting 11 throughout the season. It's common sense. Exactly. I've never heard such nonsense in my life. And again, when you have fans like this, yeah, that are saying they haven't played their full strength team, that is another excuse being built for Arteta. This is the problem. This Arsenal team will only get better, different mentality this season. So what's the different mentality? What's different mentality? I mean, you haven't won a title yet, so it's not different mentality. So it's early stages. But as I said, when you're saying that they haven't had their full strength team, you're just making excuses for Arteta already, So I'm an Arsenal fan, and I agree with you about squad/full strength argument. Yeah, listen, like, I mean, this whole they haven't had their full team, like, that's it's laughable, really. It's laughable, because it's like, what do you mean you haven't had your full strength team? No team has a full strength team every game. That's never happened. As long as I've been watching football, I've never seen one team play every player their full strength team in every game. You are gonna have injuries, which is why you buy a squad. Doesn't make sense, How about you just look at Arteta and his decision making, and his decision making to start Eze from the left hand side and then haul him off is poor management, because Eze has been instrumental, in Arsenal's attack. And all of a sudden, Odegaard's now back, who's the club captain, and Eze now moves out to the left-hand side to accommodate Martin Odegaard. When we know Eze's not a left winger, Martin Zubimendi has been poor. Christian Norgard eventually is going to have to come into that team. He's getting no game time. All these odd decisions just doesn't make any sense, But So it doesn't need to be an entire season. You needed your full strength team against a very good Villa team and give home. Did Villa have their full strength team? Right, so let me understand this, yeah? Let me understand this. Because I just can't believe I'm actually listening to someone make excuses for Arteta again, yeah? So it doesn't have to be an entire season. You needed your full strength team against a very good Villa team and give home. Did Villa have their full strength team? So was that Villa's starting a full strength team? You could probably say that might be his best lineup. But what does that mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. As I keep saying, no team is going to have a full strength team. You know, they're not. Maybe if Arteta rotated the squad a bit more, then Gabriel Saliba wouldn't have got injured. How about that? So blame your manager for not rotating the team because he's been playing players injured, by the way. So how about that? You know, not like it doesn't matter if Villa had their full strength team. Doesn't matter that. You know, Villa started Ian Maatsen. Lucas Digne's been playing more than Maatsen. So you can say Villa wasn't at their full strength. Even though I like Maatsen, and I think between him and Digne, there ain't much difference. But you can say that Unai Emery made a change by starting Maatsen rather than Lucas Digne, who's on the bench. Football is a game of small margins. Arsenal lost that game in the 95th minute. The media is all out like the crashing out. Yeah, football is a game of small margins. And this is why Arteta won't get Arsenal over the line. Because when it comes to these finer details, he gets them wrong. One of the main things he got wrong was playing Eze on the left and then taking him off because he had a poor game. If he was a brave enough manager, he just wouldn't start Eze. He wouldn't start Odegaard or start Eze. You know, just play players in their position. Like all these modern day managers just doing nonsense is making me sick. You got Ruben Amorim at Manchester United, my team, doing the same thing. And then rather than Arteta just play Eze in his position, or if you don't want to play Eze in the 10, don't play him at all. You're playing him on the left where you know Eze doesn't play from the left. At Crystal Palace, he played from the left at Crystal Palace, but it's a different system. Palace played with a 3 at the back, and Eze still played as a 10, but as a left 10. You know? So that's one of the main things as to why Arteta, for me, is going to fail. Because against the better teams and when he needs to win, he's not going to get it done, unfortunately. And this is this is Arteta all day long, man, unfortunately. So, yeah. But as I said, Man City, Man City are 2 points behind now. And I think what was the gap before? I think the gap was something like 6 points, You look at Arsenal's last 3 games, they've got 4 points from their last 3 games. The win coming against Brentford and obviously the draw against Chelsea. In that Chelsea game, they should have lost that game as well. As I said, if Moises Caicedo doesn't get sent off, they also lose that game for me. So yeah, man, I think they're in trouble, man. They're in trouble, Arsenal, and it's very common that, when Arsenal get beat, when Arsenal win games, you see all these Arsenal fans come up into the chat, they're always to be seen. And then when they lose, these guys just run and hide, man. They just run and hide. Laughable. You know what I mean? Guys, anyone see any of the weekend games? Anyone see any of the weekend games? Arsenal sucks. Yeah, well, listen. Yeah, I mean, I'll make you right, man. I'll make you right because at the end of the day, man, when you've got a manager that's been there for that long, that amount of time, and this is why this season for me, I'm gonna say it has to be his penultimate season. And the reason I'm not too sure about that is because I was sure he would have got sacked last season. Because you know, they finished second again, like second's a prize. But for me, I think this season, if he does, well, I'm gonna say if, yeah, when he doesn't win Champions League or the league title, where can a lot of these Arsenal fans and where can Arteta hide, really? Because I'll be very surprised, man, if he's in charge next season, if he goes for another season winning nothing. And again, if he wins Carabao or the FA Cup, that doesn't count. Not for the money that's been spent on this squad. You know what I mean? So for me, it's got to be Champions League or a league title. It's as simple as that. So I watched Leeds versus Liverpool, then caught match of the day too. Yeah, listen, I see the highlights of that game, but yeah, Liverpool, man, boy, they're in problems. And again, I've seen the quotes from Salah. But we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. So I got Jonas obviously coming on tomorrow. Jonas and Fitz on tomorrow. Obviously, Jonas is a Liverpool fan, and I want to get his take on Liverpool's recent form and the comments obviously on Salah as well. Because boy, I'm not surprised Salah's. Well, when I say I'm not surprised Salah's coming out with what he's coming out with, yeah, it was only a matter of time because the way I mean, let's face it, yeah. Salah's been poor this season, yeah, and for me, Salah hasn't been great for a while. I just think Salah's putting up numbers. Last season he put up numbers, but a lot of the games that I watched Salah, he wasn't great, but he had moments. You know what I mean? And last season he got good numbers. This season he's been poor, yeah, and the way Salah's gonna see it, yeah, the way Salah's gonna see it is what he's done for the club. How dare a new manager, Arne Slot, come in and benches him? That is how he's gonna see it. But I rate Arne Slot for doing that because Arne Slot's under pressure, but Salah's not pulling his weight. And again, he's had to make a change. So I don't really have a problem with Arne Slot doing that. I think the fact that Salah's come out and done an interview, I think Salah's made it more about himself. And he's done that because he's looking at it like, look at what he's done for Liverpool. But football's a game of what have you done for me lately? That's what it's about. You know, and that is what it's all about. Like, yes, Salah's got goals for Liverpool, he's won games for Liverpool, etc. But at this moment in time, he ain't doing anything. And the fact that he was dropped, he had to be dropped. You know, but the only problem is, you know, it'd have been better if Liverpool winning games. But the fact that they're not even getting over the line, you know, this is why Salah's going to come out and start saying that, you know, he hasn't really got a relationship with the manager, etc., and all that kind of stuff. You know, which again we're going to talk about it tomorrow at 5:30 with myself, Jonas, and with Fitz. So I want to get Jonas's take on, as I say, on what Salah has said. You know. So Eleanor Finya K 5515, big up, says Salah is leaving. Yeah, listen, I mean, the comments that I've seen, as I said, I'm going to go through more of it tomorrow, but I think that's leading you to believe that it's looking that way. The only problem is Liverpool have given him a big contract, and this is why Salah's coming out doing what he's doing, because the ball really is in Salah's court. He's on a massive contract. He's their highest paid player. And he's going to look at what he's done for the club. So now, putting all them things into perspective, yeah, he's going to come out and really say what he wants. But you have to blame Liverpool because Liverpool were the ones that gave him that big contract. What they should have done is thought, right, we've got a player that's the wrong side of 30. His best years are probably behind him now. Let's move him on, get money, and bring in someone else that can fill that position. But they gave him the big money because they're probably looking at it, you know, getting his goals as a replacement is going to be very hard. And look what's happened now because he's on the big money and he's not performing. You know, is it all on him? No, but he's definitely not performing. That's what I will say. So, yeah, man, it's crazy. So, yeah, Palace and Fulham, I watched that today as well. That was a good game, to be fair. Palace up to fourth. You know what I mean? So, I missed the Brighton West Ham game, but I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna probably watch the highlights a bit later. But yeah, I see the Palace Fulham, and Palace are doing well. And think of it like this, yeah. Palace really should have beaten Man United, you know, and then they would have been firmly in fourth position, maybe even third actually, because Villa are, I can't remember how many points. I think Palace might be 1 point behind Villa. But that Man United game's messed them up, and they should have been 4-0 up in the first half. So it's crazy, man. Please tell me how long Alex Ferguson took before he won his first title. Yeah, all right, man. I'm gonna put it to you like this, very simply, Randolph George. I'm not sure how old you are, yeah, but comparing Ferguson and Mikel Arteta is like comparing chalk and cheese, yeah. Mikel Arteta never had a managerial career before Arsenal, yeah. He went straight from being Pep's number 2 to being Arsenal manager. Even that in itself is criminal, yeah. Alex Ferguson, I believe, and I'm confident that he won the Scottish division with Aberdeen before coming to Manchester United. So again, Ferguson come to Manchester United with credentials in a team that was struggling. Arteta's gone to Arsenal from not having any previous managerial experience, going into a club that is meant to be one of the biggest teams in the country, and he's been there 7 years. And yes, he has got them out of the dumps that they were in. But the facts are, he has been there for 7 seasons and has not had a sniff at the Premier League title. You've even got Tottenham Hotspur, who don't win titles or win trophies, winning a trophy before Arsenal. So all this, you know, how long did it take Alex Ferguson? You cannot compare Alex Ferguson and Mikel Arteta. Like, to even mention them in the same breath as managers is disrespectful. Arteta is nowhere near an Alex Ferguson, and will be nowhere near an Alex Ferguson. So please don't tell me about how long it took Ferguson. Ferguson won a trophy before he came to Manchester United. Arteta was handing out cones for Pep Guardiola before going to Arsenal. So let's not do this. Wirtz is going to cook when he leaves, to be honest. Listen, Florian Wirtz for me, yeah, I know Wirtz hasn't been great. You know, I think his last few games, to be fair, he has been decent. He has been good. Wirtz is one of my favourite players to watch, yeah. He is going to come good. I have every faith, because a player with his ability, you know, he will come good. You know, look at players in this league that have struggled from the get-go. Not every player hits the ground running. But I think if you look at how Liverpool are playing, you know, they're not playing well either. So that's sure to impact their players. But I think once Wirtz becomes more accustomed to this league, you know, Liverpool start showing some form, I got no doubts that Florian Wirtz is going to be a top player, man. Because this is a guy, before he left Bayer Leverkusen, was one of the best players in the world. You know, people right now are not looking at him like that. But as I said, he's gonna get better and better. He will, you know. So maybe he will cook when Salah goes. But as I keep saying, the fact that on a slot didn't change the formation to get the best out of Wirtz, who has come from a 3-4-3. The same with Frimpong as well. Kirkes can play that position. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But I got no doubts that Wirtz will come good. No doubt, man. No doubt. Big up to United fans. Says big up, Gav. Hope you're good, bro. How's fight training going? Yeah, listen, I had my fight yesterday, man. I had it yesterday. Yeah, big up though. But yeah, guys, if you want to view my my fight I had, my boxing fight I had yesterday, it's on my members only. So it's been put up on my members only content. So again, once you guys become a member, you'll be able to view my boxing fight, as well as other posts in there as well. And then again, once we get 10 of you that are members, I'm going to do a live Q&A for you guys as well, to say thanks for becoming members on the channel. So yeah, so if you want to view the fight, it's on my members only content. Saying he doesn't need to earn his spot because he has already earned it is crazy. Comment from a professional, though, still. What's that, Fitz? What's that? He doesn't need to earn his spot. Who said that? Who hasn't got to earn his spot? Oh, Salah, yeah? Okay. Yeah, listen, I don't want to, I don't want to hog tonight with Salah because we're going to get into that tomorrow. And I want to get Jonas. Obviously, Jonas is a Liverpool fan, so I want to get his take on that. But I have seen the comments, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not surprised he's saying that. I'm not surprised. But again, we're going to get into that tomorrow. Big up to Shubham Jadav from India. Big up. Yeah, big up, man. Appreciate it. So, 7 years, bro. That's not the question, bro. You have to start somewhere, bro. And he has managed to keep them in the top 4. Boy, I've never seen so many bros in one sentence. 3 of them. But, yeah, listen, what I would say, though, if it took Ferguson 7 years to win a trophy, to win a Premier League title, as I said, Ferguson come to Manchester United with credentials already. Not only do I think that Arteta's not winning the title, yeah, but you cannot compare Arteta and Ferguson. You know, if Arteta had managerial experience before and won a trophy before or a title before, I'll take it more seriously. But the fact that he's come straight into management at Arsenal, which is madness, really, and you're now saying about Ferguson, it took him 7 years, like, yeah, you can't compare Ferguson and Arteta. It's just simple. It's as simple as that. You can't compare them, man. And there you go. Fergie beat Real Madrid with Aberdeen for a European trophy. There you go. Arsenal have not had a sniff at a European trophy. The last time Arsenal were in a final of the Champions League was when Ronaldinho and Belletti dunked on them. Samuel Eto'o. Yeah? And then obviously Chelsea beat them. Did Chelsea beat them? Or was that even Arsenal? Can't remember. I think it might have been. Yeah, Chelsea beat them, I think, in the Europa League final, I believe. Sunderland are better than yous, mate. Sunderland are better than who, Terry? Let me know who you're talking about. Big up to 6 Buzz says, you still sticking to a Wolves 2-1 win? Yeah, listen. Yeah, the fact that I'm saying Wolves will beat Manchester United tomorrow is crazy. Because this is a team that's got 2 points all season. But I'm telling you this now, this team is not, this Manchester United team, under this manager, they're not a good team. When I'm seeing Diogo Dalot doing long throws, you know we're finished. That game against West Ham, yeah, was so poor. Like, I can't even believe to tell you. Like, that is probably as worse as it gets. Because we got beat by 10-man Everton, yeah? The West Ham game was alarming because when I'm seeing a maverick like Cunha, and Cunha was resorting to just tossing the ball in the box and then eventually got brought off. There were so many issues in that game that I didn't understand from this manager. Taking off Xerxes, taking off Cunha to bring on Mount and Ugarte. You know, Kobe not getting 1 minute of game time. Ahmad still at wing back. Long throw-ins from Dalot. Like, there was so many problems in that game. Why would I be saying that we're going to go to Wolves and win? You know? I mean, we should be going to Wolves and winning. We should be whipping them 3-4-0. But we're not going to do that. This team in this system doesn't score goals. It doesn't. You know, it's been proven. And as I said, Wolves have been playing slightly better under Rob Edwards. And the problem is for Manchester United is that their away record is poor. Yeah? And I can just see that continuing against Wolves. I can't see them beating Wolves. Like, I can't even believe I'm saying this. Because I can't trust the team he's going to play. I know the players he's going to play. He's going to play Dalot. He's going to play Bruno Fernandes. I think Mason Mount starts as well. Luke Shaw's probably going to play. Or he might play Lissandro to give him a rest. I don't know. But he's going to play all the players that we know are just not good enough. And it's the same old shit, man. It's boring. And as I said, I just think Wolves at home, you know, knowing that Man United are under pressure. And you have to remember as well, every team that plays Manchester United is like their cup final. Yeah? And, Yeah, I can just see Wolves winning the game, man. Like I'm gonna say 2-1. It could be 1-0, it could be 2-1, but I just don't think Man United win this game. I don't. Because I just don't trust what team he's gonna play. I think Cunha will play against his former team, but if he plays Cunha, I can see it, yeah. I can see this, yeah. I can see Cunha, because I think Cunha's definitely starting because it's against his former team. But I think he plays Cunha through the middle and plays Mason Mount. And that means dropping Xerxes. This manager is capable of doing that because we know he doesn't really rate Xerxes like that. So, yeah, man, I'm not confident, I'll be honest. I think 2-1 Wolves, you know. And if Man United get beat by Wolves, they should sack him in the tunnel. I don't want to see this guy do another press conference if they lose against Wolves. They need to just sack him straight away, as soon as possible, because I think that'll be the last straw. And I think every Manchester United fan, yeah, if he was to get beat by bottom of the table Wolves, who have 2 points, I don't think there'll be anyone saying he should be keeping his job. I think everyone will say, yeah, he has to go. You know what I mean? I think that's a definite. I think they'll be saying he has to go. I'll be very surprised if anyone sticks with him. Put it that way. So Robocop says, I was at Rooney's debut in the Champions League against Fenerbahce, scored a hat-trick, showing my age here. Yeah, big up Robocop, man. Listen, I've had the privilege of playing against Wayne Rooney when I was younger, man. So, what a player, man. What a player, even at that age. The age of, what, 14? Yeah, man. Rooney was ridiculous, man. And as I said, I've had first-hand experience of playing against him. And the career he's had, it's not really a surprise, man. Because I tell you now, at youth football, he was frightening. I'm telling you, frightening. But yeah, man, he's a top player, man. Not a great pundit in my opinion, but a top player. 2008 was a fantastic team. Rooney, Tevez, Ronaldo, top 2, 3. Yeah, listen, Rooney. May not have had some ridiculous players, man, throughout the years. Some ridiculous players. I might follow you. Just you are a Man United MUFC. I don't understand that message. If Wolves beat us, Amorim must go. 100%. 100%. 100%. You know, but again, the way this manager's been getting away with things, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if United go there and win, and this is the thing, yeah, even a draw isn't good enough. Like, he has to win the game. Like, no draw. It has to be a win. And if he gets anything less than a win, they have to sack immediately. Immediately. So we're gonna see what happens anyway. So he needs another transfer window. Still a lot of players need to go. Who are we talking about? Man United or Arsenal here? Because how many players do you want to give this manager before you start realizing that he's just shit? Like, come on, man. Like, let's stop giving excuses. You know, he's got loads of new players. The guy is just not good enough. He's arguably the worst manager in the league. Arguably. Let's go through, yeah, all the managers in the league. And we'll see which one Arteta is better than. Yeah? Let's go through them. Let me see. So, right. So let's go through it, yeah? Is Ruben Amorim better than Mikel Arteta? I hate to say it, but no. Is he better than Pep? Hell no. Unai Emery? No. Nowhere near him. Glasner? No. Maresca? No. David Moyes? No. David Moyes got Everton in 6th place, by the way. Yeah. Fabian Hurtzler. Well, look at what Hurtzler's doing with Brighton. They're 7th. No, he's not. Is he better than Regis Lebris? Sunderland they just come back to the Premiership. Yeah. They find themselves in 8th place. And they've picked up points from Arsenal, from Liverpool as well. Yeah. He's not better than Regis Lebris. Is he better than Arne Slot? I mean, I know Liverpool are in problems right now, but Slot's won a league title, so no. Is he better than Thomas Frank? No. Eddie Howe? No. Is he better than Iraola? No. Marco Silva? No. Daniel Farker? No. Farker's got Leeds in 16th. And let's face it, Leeds just promoted as well. You know, the majority of their team, I would say, are championship players. He ain't better than Daniel Farker. Is he better than Nuno? Sean Dyche, sorry. No. Is he better than Nuno? No. Is he better than Scott Parker? No, not for me. I think Parker's a very good manager. And then you got Rob Edwards. Yeah? Is Ruben Amorim better than Rob Edwards? We're going to see on Monday. And that is how bad this manager is. I don't think there's one manager he's better than. I think Rob Edwards is his level. And I'd arguably say Rob Edwards, if Rob Edwards manages to orchestrate a win against Man United, Rob Edwards, I would say, is better than him. Like, I don't think people deep how bad this manager is. I don't understand how he's got this far as a manager. You know, people say, you know, look at his Sporting Lisbon team, weak league, and you had a flat track bully and a striker in Victor Gyökeres. Yeah, and again, going to this for some of you that might not be aware. Yeah, when Gyökeres was at Sporting Lisbon, I believe Lisbon had an XG, and again, I don't care about XG, yeah, but I believe they had an XG of something like 25, yeah, plus 25, which again is unheard of, yeah. So if you've got a team that has an XG of 25, it means you had a freak striker in that league who was a flat track bully, which inferiorly means that the league is weak. Because look at what Gyökeres is doing in this league. He's struggling massively, yeah, and it means that your team's setup is not set up to score goals, really. It's just that you had one freak season. Because when you bring that system to England, which is a harder league, and your strikers are not scoring goals, it's not because Gyökeres is better than Xerxes or Sesko. This system doesn't allow you to score goals. So people need to realize how bad this manager is. You know, people don't actually deep it, yeah. You know, that this system, there's nothing wrong with the system itself, but it's the way the manager sees the system. It's how we see certain players in this system. Again, I've touched on it so many times. You know, you do not play one of your best players in Amad Diallo as a wingback. I don't care what system you're playing, Amad is no wingback. But Amad's got a good attitude, yeah, and he's got an engine, and that's why he just gets on with it. But you ask Amad, does he want to play wingback? Hell no. He doesn't want to play wingback. Yeah, that's the main thing. You've got a goal-scoring wide player in Brian Mbeumo. Yeah, and he's playing Mbeumo as a right 10. Yeah. So again, all these things that this manager is doing doesn't make sense to me. And as I said, Rob Edwards is his level. And we're going to see tomorrow, yeah, what he does against Rob Edwards. We're going to see. Because I tell you this now, do not be surprised if Wolves beat Manchester United. I'm telling you now, do not be surprised. Do not be surprised. Wesley says, one correct score away from 10 grand today. Gutted 3 out of 4, right? Boy, man, what game was it that let you down? Was it the Palace and Fulham game? That's mad, though. You see Amarin's press conference where he was asked about not giving Manu minutes. He admitted he's playing some... But, Fitz, listen, me and you watch football properly, yeah? So, we've been saying this, yeah? If anyone was awake, we know he's playing survival football. You can just tell. Because he knows every result that he gets, yeah, positive result he gets, is longer for him in the job. So that means he's just going to be playing players that he feels can either nick him a goal or just get him over the line. But you can see that in the performances. But the problem is these things are not sustainable. Because sooner or later, these same players that you're relying on to try and get you over the line, you know, they're either going to pick up injuries, they're either going to get, you know, dissatisfied, whatever. So the fact that he's playing survival football and Ineos think this is acceptable is the bigger problem. Because, again, it's one of them things where, what is the future vision? Because you can't have a Manchester United manager playing survival football. You can't have that. So, as I said, man, I could clearly see he was playing survival football. It's not even hard to work out because just look at the players he's playing. He's giving youth really no game time because he knows that he can't afford to play the youth. The fact he played Aiden Heaven, yeah, don't be fooled that he only played Aiden Heaven because it was more of a case of trying to show the fans that he is giving youth a chance when we know clearly he's not, yeah. And again, the lip wasn't fit. I think the lip will be back on Monday. And again, that'll be a massive boost to the team. But, you know, if Lisandro Martinez wasn't out for as long as he did, Heaven wouldn't have played. He probably would have played Lisandro in the middle with Luke Shaw there. And the fact that Heaven got booked, yeah, that was an excuse to take him off. Because really and truly, the guy's not played hardly any football. You know, he gets booked and you bring him off. Why? Why is it that he has to come off and all the other players that play week in, week out, we've got to keep seeing their faces? Because he's playing survival football. We know that. We know that. So too many players on contracts and big wages push some incredible managers out the way over the years. Again, that's a lie. That's not true. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, yeah, who are we looking at the managers that got pushed out? All the managers, apart from Louis van Gaal, should have been sacked. There's no doubt about that. All this players on money and that force the managers out, that's a cop-out. Because Louis van Gaal should not have been sacked. I'd argue that of anyone. The only reason Louis van Gaal was sacked is because Mourinho was available. And they wanted to do a Mourinho versus Pep El Clasico. Manchester United versus Man City. That is the only reason. But Mourinho should have been sacked, even though he did win trophies. Solskjaer should have been sacked. He didn't win no trophies. Ten Hag won a couple of trophies. He should have been sacked. And then you got Ruben Amorim, who's performed the worst out of any manager at Manchester United. For some reason, he's been kept on. So again, it's nothing to do with the big contracts and the big wages. That's just a cop-out. And in the day, there's players that are still playing now that a lot of fans that are switched on to the bigger problems, yeah, wanted these players out anyway. The likes of Luke Shaw, the likes of Bruno Fernandes. These guys should have been gone years ago. But the fan base are in love with these players, which meant that these players were getting bigger contracts, yeah? So now all of a sudden, it's now cool to be saying, you know, these players are on big contract, they should have gone. I've been telling you about Bruno Fernandes for time. It's not new to me what Bruno does in terms of the moaning, the complaining. It's not new to me. He's been doing this ever since he come to the club. But what was masking over it was numbers. And that's all people care about is numbers. When you actually watch him play, you realize what a horrible footballer he is. He's terrible, you know. People think he's a 10. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, man. He's poor. And the thing with Bruno Fernandes is, yeah, he's been given the keys to Old Trafford to do what he wants. And I can't actually blame Bruno for what he does on the pitch. I blame the management. I blame whoever's giving him that power because he does whatever he wants on that pitch. He's always, when he gets the ball, he's telling people where to run. I told you this the other day. If I was on the same team as Bruno Fernandes, yeah, and he told me to where to run, me and him would be fighting because there's no way I'll be having it off someone like that, trying to tell me where to go. That ain't going to happen. So again, the fact that you've got a captain like that, yeah, who's not a captain for me, you know, is poor. Why do you think Man United are in the state they're in? Because there's no denying, since Bruno Fernandes has been captain of this club, the club have been in their worst ever finishes. It's not a surprise, is it? Yeah, listen, Wolves does have to be 3 points, but listen, I'm not confident Man United get 3 points against Wolves. I'll be honest. I'm not confident. You know, as I said, I think, yeah, Wolves are on 2 points. I can see Wolves picking up a point at least. And as I said, yeah, even if Man United draw the game, you have to sack him. He has to win this game. He has to. Like, I don't want to hear no excuses. He has to win that game. Big up to Foxy Danny as well. Big up. So, Simo says, bro, you're 100% a cancer. Oh, man. You're 100% a cancer. Yeah, good one. What do you think of Shea Lacey? Yeah, listen, Shea Lacey's a good player, man. Like, he's talented. But I don't really know why we're talking about Shea Lacey, because Shea Lacey's not going to play under this manager. And all you have to look at is, where does Shea Lacey play? Shea Lacey plays where Ahmad and Mbuemo play. So Shea Lacey's not going to play. Because could you imagine, yeah? Could you imagine if he was to play... Obviously, Ahmad and Mbuemo are going off to AFCON. So you never know. Shea Lacey might even get game time, yeah? But imagine if he plays Shea Lacey as a right 10 and you got Ahmad at right wing back. Like, that would just be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous, you know? But yeah, no, Shea Lacey's definitely got ability, but I think it's pointless. Like, Amarim's not using the youth. He's not going to use the youth. He's in survival mode. So he's gonna the likes of Dallo, Bruno, Maguire when he's back, Shaw. These guys are gonna continue playing until he gets sacked, because he knows every result is one result closer to him getting the sack if he loses or draws. So it is what it is. And again, the fact that, you know, if they would have come out and gave him assurances, no matter what happens this season, he's still in charge, maybe he might think, right, I'm not getting sacked. I might bring in this youth player. But he knows full well that every result, he's on the chopping block. So he's just going to just continue playing the players that will get him over the line. And the youth ain't going to be used. Kobe Minu's a prime example. You know, there's definitely something with Kobe Minu and this manager. The manager just does not rate him, but you can clearly see that anyway. You know, we lost to Wolves when Mick McCarthy was there and they were bottom of the league. Same will happen again. We lost to Blackburn when they were bottom. We're wank, and the wank train will continue. Yeah, listen, man. I can't even disagree with that, because yeah, man, it is what it is. It is what it is. Guys, make sure you're smashing the like button. We got 15 likes at the moment. Again, if you haven't smashed the like button, make sure you do. And again, make sure you sub to the channel and make sure you share the channel as well. And big up yourselves for coming through and interacting with the channel. Let's go through some of your comments. Big up to Brennan Bros, says Wayne Rooney is my dad's friend. Big up. Barca's a joke club. Joke ting. Nah, they're not a joke club, man. Barca got standards, man. You can't be saying they're a joke club. I've not seen any reason to believe they're a joke club. I'll tell you one thing's for sure. They wouldn't be having a manager like Ruben Amorim in charge the way that he's been performing. So, yeah, man. Don't believe that. Gav, my first ever United memory was 95. Last game of the season, we had to beat West Ham. Blackburn won the league. Yeah, listen, I remember that game. That's when Andy Cole was at United. So, yeah, Blackburn were playing Liverpool, by the way, funny enough. Yeah, Blackburn were playing Liverpool and United had West Ham. And I think United drew the game, I believe, 2-2. And I think Shearer might have scored for Blackburn against Liverpool. Can't remember. So, yeah. Yeah, big up to Christopher McGrath. Big up. Big up. I'm all good, man. All good. Hope you're well too. Mikel Arteta is buns. Yeah, listen, Arteta is just not... Listen, I've said a lot on Arteta already, man. As I said, I've got a friend, man, that said to me, if Arteta finishes outside the top 2, he'll give him another season. And this is what you're dealing with. Standards for all clubs are at an all-time low. My club, Man United, we're at an all-time low. And Arsenal are definitely that as well. You know? Big up my guy from Scotland. Yeah, big up, man. What's your view on Nathaniel Klein's coke days? Madness. Yeah, big up to Lewis Jackson. Yeah, big up, man. All good. All good. Bro, I'm telling you, man. Listen, Arteta is... I'm not Arteta. Ruben Amorim is one of the worst managers in this league. I've just... again, tell me a manager he's better than in this league. Tell me. Because I can't see it, you know? Do you speak just Man U? What do you think, Salah? Did you know he wants to go? Now, listen, we talk football on there, man. It's not Man United is my team, as well as Barcelona, but we talk all football. Any sort of football from any club, we've got I've got the the answers for on here, man. So yeah, it could be any club. But again, the Salah one, I'm gonna talk more of it tomorrow. Because obviously we're gonna be back tomorrow, as I said, at 5:30 with Fitz, who's on there now, and with Jonas. So yeah, we're gonna talk more of that because Jonas is a Liverpool fan, and I want to get his take on that. So yeah, I'm not gonna hog the channel tonight with Salah talk. So we'll be doing that tomorrow at 5:30. So yeah, make sure you guys come through tomorrow at 5:30 and give us your questions on Mo Salah and on Liverpool as well. So Lacey was brought up as well. His answers were about, for the moment, openly admit he doesn't want to risk academy players. I just don't understand how the entire fan base hasn't demanded him to go. Because the majority of the fan base are deluded. That's why, man. We're like the standards have been lowered, man. Like we have to realize that there's no standards at Manchester United. Because the fact that you've got a manager, yeah, that's been there for over a year, has had 13 wins in 12 months. I still can't get my head around that. That a Manchester United manager has had 13 wins in 12 months. Like, I mean, that is something you hear from relegation fodder. He has that as a Manchester United manager, and yet there's still excuses being made for him. You know, this is the problem, man. So yeah, the academy players are not playing, man. They're not playing. They're not. So we can rule them out. You know, I want to see what he's gonna do when Mbuemo, Mazraoui and Ahmad go to AFCON. Because that's the whole right-hand side there. Who does he bring? Because you're going to think Dallo will obviously go back to his right wing-back role. But who's going to play as a right 10? Because the inverted is going to stop unless you play Shea Lacey. These are the issues. Unless they go and buy him a right 10 who's inverted, a left-footed one, or he uses the youth, that right-hand side with the players that are going to AFCON, listen, there's going to be issues there. And all you got to look at is the games United have when them players are off at AFCON. I think there's Newcastle and Aston Villa in there. So, listen, there's tough times ahead for Manchester United under this manager. So, I just don't know what to think, man. You know what I mean? One thing I want to talk is Doku, bro. Yeah, man, go ahead. I think Doku's been good this season, to be fair. You know, I'm not his biggest fan, but this season, man, he seems to have gone up a level, definitely. United need to buy Doku. Listen, let's move on from that, man. United need to buy Doku. We're not buying Doku, man. Where are we getting this from? Yeah, FIFA talk, man. Come on, what are we doing there, man? United need to buy Doku. For what? I mean, how can you buy Doku, man? Big ups from Kingston, man. Jamaica. Yeah, big up, man. Big up. Mickey Mouse. Come on, man. What we doing there? Doku. Sesko's the best striker in Manchester. No, he's not. But I hear you. But he's not. He's not even the best striker at United. because that's Xerxes' title. So so who do you think go win the title? Man City win the title. Man, I said Man City from the start. Man City's last 5 games, they've got 4 wins and 1 loss. The 1 loss come to Newcastle, and if we're honest, yeah, they should have won that Newcastle game. Erling Haaland had a chance in the first half. Phil Foden had a penalty shout as well. And really and truly, I believe if they get the goals, they would have won that game. And to think that Man City are 2 points off of Arsenal, and they haven't even really played that well. Man City are winning this league. They've got game changers in their team. Look at what Ryan Cherky done yesterday. Ryan Cherky is mad talented. Like, he's one of the most talented players, not just in the league, but in world football. He's one of the most talented players in world football. You got Phil Foden. Phil Foden for me, yeah. And you know what? I'm a fan of Phil Foden, but I did start saying to myself, do you know what? Foden's got to step up this season because the World Cup's coming up, and I'm thinking at the moment, I was saying, yeah, I don't see how Foden goes to the World Cup because Thomas Tuchel's played him as a false 9 in the last squads, yeah. I would have to say right now, as it stands, Phil Foden has to be a certainty on the plane because he's playing that well. He's scoring goals and he's been a difference maker for Man City. And it's good to see because Cole Palmer comfortably has overtaken him. And Phil Foden's now, at this moment in time, is now starting to, you know, jostle back with Cole Palmer because Cole Palmer's come from the youth at Man City to go to Chelsea. And Cole Palmer really, you could say, had overtaken Foden. Foden right now is starting to look like he's coming back. So the fact that he's a game changer, Haaland's a game changer with his goals, Cherky's a game changer. You know, you've got players like Omar Marmoush, who's not getting much game time. He can be a game changer. You know, Doku, to be fair, is a game changer. So again, City will win this league for me. I've got no doubt. You know, at the start of the season, I said Liverpool with the signings they've made. But then part of me was saying, I can see Man City. You know, Pep's got something this season, you know. And the fact that City are 2 points behind Arsenal now, level on points, City are going to win this league. And you have to remember as well, City are used to being chased by other teams and holding their nerve. So I think City win this league, man. I've got no doubt City win this league now, you know. And again, Arsenal still have to play City at the Etihad. So, yeah, man, City win the league for me, definitely. But big up, man. I want you to rate Man United players 1 to 10 by the sell category. Okay, so let's go through... so what is that? I'm guessing that's 1 being... So rate Man United players from 1 to 10 by the sell category. So if we're saying 1 is least sell and 10 is a high sell. So Lamens is a new signing, so you wouldn't sell Lamens, so that'll be at a low 1. If we go into the defense, Matthias de Ligt for me, you wouldn't sell de Ligt. Well, put it this way, yeah? Forget the numbers, yeah? I'll just tell you the players that I wouldn't sell, and it's not hard. So Lamens is a new keeper, you'd keep him. De Ligt, you definitely keep de Ligt, make him the captain as well. Aiden Heaven, he's a future player, you keep him. Mazraoui is a very good squad player, you'll keep him. Lenny Yoro, for me, is the future of our defence, you keep him. Diogo Dalot, sorry, Diogo Dalot would go. Luke Shaw would go. Harry Maguire, if he's a backup, you'd keep him as for experience and as a backup. But out of the defence, I'm only keeping de Ligt, Yoro, Mazraoui, Aiden Heaven. You know, Luke Shaw can go. Lissandro, if you get an offer for him, he can go. Maguire, I will keep for experience and as a backup. And Dalot can go, unless he wants to play backup to Mazraoui in a 4-2-3-1. Bruno Fernandes, he can go, definitely. Ugarte is a waste of time. He can go. Casemiro, I'll keep Casemiro for his experience, but obviously providing he lowers his contract, which I don't think happens. Mason Mount, I'll get rid of ASAP. Number 7 shirt, high wage. It's ridiculous. And then, yeah, everyone else I'll keep. I mean, for me, Xerxes, Sesko, I'll definitely keep. Xerxes and Sesko. Ahmad Mbuemo, yep. Cunha, yes. Kobe Minu, yes. Dorgu, yeah, I'll keep him. Mazraoui, Yoro, Delict, Heaven, Lemens. Yeah, you keep them. It's not really hard to work out, really, man, to be honest with you. Yeah, Redknapp free. I remember that, yeah. So, me supported Newcastle and still does vids about it on me main PD Proudlock channel. But support Man United now as wanted to win trophies as a fan. And we ain't won anything. Bro, listen. It's gonna continue on. It's gonna continue under this manager, unfortunately, because this manager's not winning anything, man. So, as I said to you guys anyway before, if this manager somehow and I don't think he survives the season, yeah, but if he was to somehow survive this season, Man United will not finish in the top half. I promise you. I promise you, they will not finish in the top half under this manager. It's impossible. Because he's going to play this formation to the wheels fall off. And it's quite clear it's not working. You know, and again, he just isn't a good manager. The players are the ones that are getting over the line with individual quality. That's it. Not the manager. Yeah, big up Andy Cole, man. Of course. Big legend. Coley, man. Big legend. Him and Yorkie, man. Big legends. So Mo Salah's announced he's leaving the club and headed to Saudi League. I've not seen that. When did he say that? That's not breaking on Sky Sports. But again, man, we're gonna talk about it tomorrow anyway. So Sesko could move right and Cunha central. Nah, Sesko's not playing on the right. That's not gonna happen. Sesko's injured anyway. Foden is better than Palmer, please. Nah, Foden's not better than Palmer for me. I think Cole Palmer's better, but what I would say is that Phil Foden at this moment in time, you know, he's starting to show some form, and at this moment he's on the plane with England. But things can change. You know, he might get an injury, he might have loss of form, but at this moment in time, he's proven a match winner for Man City. You know, he's proven a game changer. So, and obviously Palmer's been injured. But definitely Palmer is ahead of Foden. But Foden's starting to claw it back, you know. But for me, they're two top players, man. They are. Can we be nuanced? We had injuries galore this season with Odegaard, Gyökeres out alongside Saliba and Gabriel. Mind you, away at Villa, who won their last 8 and it was a last-minute winner. Yeah, but again, I don't want to hear excuses because Arsenal have a big squad. Yeah, maybe the fact that these players are injured, maybe look at your manager for overplaying these players because he's been playing a lot of these players that have been injured. So when people are saying that, you know, Arsenal have been unlucky with injuries, etc., like unfortunately teams get injuries, and this is why you have a big squad to compensate for the injuries. Yeah, so even if Saliba and Gabriel were fit against Aston Villa, who knows what would have happened? Who knows? But Aston Villa, from what I heard, have played well anyway. But we can't say that because Saliba and Gabriel weren't there. That's why Arsenal got beat, because you just don't know. You know, one of them could have given away a penalty and made the result even more comfortable. We just don't know. But Yeah, I'm not gonna hear any excuses, man. The facts are, Mikel Arteta has been at this club for 7 years, and he's not one major trophy. This season is the penultimate season, and if he fails, then it's what's gonna happen, isn't it? He's gonna get criticism, and so he should. Big up to Darren Jameson. Yeah, big up. Yeah, big up Fitz, man. Listen, Eric Cantona, man. King Cantona. So, King of Manchester, Eric Cantona once said, you can change your wife or religion, but you cannot change your football club. Big up, man. Listen, that's one of my original goats, man. My original goats. Obviously, my three favourite players, Messi, Ronaldinho, and R9. There's loads of other players, man, in there. But when it comes to Manchester United favourite ever players, and the one player is Eric Cantona, man. Eric Cantona was just different. You know, from the kung fu kicks to the goals to the presence on the pitch, the aura. Listen, man. Yeah, Eric Cantona was the guy, man. Definitely. You know, Eric Cantona, man. So Embuemo is the star man now. He's a great player and a class act. Embuemo's been poor since he's come to Manchester United, and it ain't his fault, to be honest with you. He's playing in a position which he doesn't play. And although he has got a couple of goals, he hasn't really played well. He's looked nothing like the player that was at Brentford. You know, and again, you have to look at the manager, because why the manager thinks it's acceptable to play Embuemo as a right 10 is criminal, really. It's criminal for so many reasons. You know, you're playing him as a right 10 when a 10 is meant to be a creator. He's a wide forward and naturally wants to drift wide and then come in field. But playing him as a right 10, like, is just ridiculous, really, you know? Doesn't make any sense. Big up to Nathan, says, hi, bro. I hope we win to Wolves tomorrow, bro. Yeah, listen, I'm praying we win tomorrow because we're 12th, I think, at the moment. Yeah. And let me just check, actually. Are we 12th? I think we might be 12th. Yeah, we're 12th at the moment, which is unacceptable. Now, if we don't win tomorrow, let's say at worst we get a draw. A draw takes us joint ninth with Liverpool. Yeah. A win will take United joint fifth with Chelsea. Yeah. But again, it's crazy to think that United are, you know, one result away from going fifth, which just shows that this league table this season is crazy. But if we lose tomorrow, you sack him on the spot, and then United will stay 12th. Yeah, they'll stay 12th. But again, look at Man United are 12th here on 22 points. And then you've got Nottingham Forest, who are 17th, who are 5 points they're 7 points behind Man United. So again, if any team's putting away 2 wins in a row, you'll quickly see these teams just surge up the table. This is the problem. Arsenal is bottling the league. Listen, why are we not surprised though? They're not winning no league title. I said that from the start. They're not winning the league title. I think yesterday's game will show you a lot, man, because those are the kind of games, yeah, especially when you're not playing well, at least get a point from it. But to think that they lost the game, and people might say, you know, last minute winner, or they were unlucky to not see the game out. But at the end of the season, these are the kind of games and the kind of results that are gonna take its toll. You know, because City haven't been playing well. They've been up and down this season. And all they've done, City, is put away, you know, they beat Fulham 5-4, which was a mad game. You know, looked like they were going to draw that game or lose it in the end. Yeah. And look at that. They've put away 2 or 3 results in a row. Leeds as well, last minute winner against Leeds. They've put 3 results in a row, 9 points. And they're now only 2 points off of Arsenal, all games played. So now Arsenal now know that they need to not lose or draw. And then if Man City win that game that they lose or draw, level on points. So this I'm trying to tell you, man. It's a long way to go, man. Long way to go in this season. Fans like you ruin the authenticity of the game, in all honesty. Um, I'm not sure, Blue Boy, who you're mentioning that on, but be a bit more clear on who you're talking about, man. Because it's not really clear you're talking about. You talking about myself, or you just saying to someone in the chat? Who's United got next? We got Wolves tomorrow. Yeah, Wolves tomorrow away. Man United have the best players that could fit in any team besides Man United. I don't agree with that, really. I mean, we've got very good players. Amad Diallo, Joshua Zirkzee, Matthias Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, Kobe Mainu, Matthias De Ligt, Lenny Yoro, Casemiro. Like, them guys first and foremost, yeah. Okay, man, big up, yeah. Who do you support? Manchester United, and I like Barcelona as well. Guys, come on, make sure we're smashing the like. We've got 19 likes, and there's 19 of you in at the moment. So, again, if you haven't smashed the like button, make sure you do, and make sure you sub to the channel as well, guys. Big up. Make sure you share the channel as well. Bro, we play Wolves and Bournemouth, 2 massive games. Look at that. Is that Bournemouth game away or home? Because I'll tell you this now, yeah. If that's away, we've lost that against Bournemouth. We're losing that against Bournemouth if it's away. Let me check now, actually. Let me check now. Because, as I said, he might not even make it to Bournemouth if he loses to Wolves. So, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, okay, so we're home to Bournemouth. Well, listen, if he doesn't beat Wolves, yeah, then I'm sorry, he cannot be manager of United any longer. He cannot be, because if we get beat by Wolves, why are we gonna beat Bournemouth? Why would we beat Bournemouth? I'm not hearing that, to be honest with you. Realistically, how well would Flick do with this United side? Well, for a start, he wouldn't play this shit formation. So that's a good start. He wouldn't play this 3-4-2-1 formation and play players out of position. That's what he wouldn't do. So, again, a new manager, they're not starting from anything that isn't too complicated. Just play players in their right positions and keep it moving. You know, this manager is incapable of doing that. You know, he's doing everything to be awkward, it seems. You know, and when you've got players that, you know, should be the future of the team or should definitely be getting more game time and they're not, like, at what point are you going to start looking at the manager? Because he's in survival mode, and no Manchester United manager really should be in survival mode. And the fact that Ineos are not even looking at this is a problem in itself, man. So, yeah, crazy. But, yeah, Flick would do a good job with this team. I have no doubt. Because he's going to play a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. You know, he's going to play Mbeumo in his right position. He's going to play Cunha in his right position. Amad in his right position. You know, whoa, I say Amad in his right position. Amad would be playing as a wide forward, on the right, if he was in his system, in a 4-3-3. You know, same with Mbeumo. You know, Kobe configuring his team as a left 8. You know, this 2 in midfield kills Kobe Mainu because it requires a different kind of profile in there. You know, everything that, like, Kobe's someone that hasn't been mad athletic. That's never been his game. But he's a ball player. He likes the ball to feet. You know, he likes to work in tight spaces. And the fact that this team is playing a 2 in midfield, it requires leadership, it requires legs, and it requires discipline. And all those things you would say, Kobe hasn't really got. Which is why loads of us have been calling out for Kobe to be playing as a 10, you know, in this system. But the reality is, why is this system being persevered with anyway, when you've got so many players that are not even playing in their rightful places. That is the problem. So yeah, this manager's a massive issue, man, and it will continue to be a massive issue. It is criminal playing Ahmad at wing back. It's, as I said, I mentioned the other day, yeah, and again, before anyone gets confused, I'm not comparing Ahmad and Lamine Yamal. I'm not comparing them, yeah. But playing Ahmad at wing back would be like Hansi Flick saying to Yamal, go and play right back. You know what I mean? Or saying to Pedri, you're playing left back today. Like, it's the equivalent. Like, if anyone's played football, you will know wing back is an unforgiving role. And to think that you've got one of your best players playing at wing back, you know, doing up shuttle runs is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. When he gets the ball, he's tired. But why are we surprised? You know? So, yeah, man, it's ridiculous. But this is Ruben Amorim for you. Bro, if Amorim gets sacked, who are we getting to replace him, bro? Bro, if you want to get an interim, just go and get me Michael Carrick. Yeah, at least Carrick is not going to persevere with his dead formation. That's a good start. Yeah. If you want an interim, Xavi, Carrick, whoever. If you want a permanent, there's names out there. Glasner, Iraola. You know, someone mentioned Patrick Vieira the other day. You know, and the fact that Patrick Vieira's name hasn't been mentioned is shocking, because Vieira has managed Nice, Crystal Palace. He was part of City's backroom staff, I believe, as well. And I don't want to hear that Vieira hasn't got any managerial experience, because Mikel Arteta never had any managerial experience before he got before he got the Arsenal job. So again, Zidane has always been my choice, but you know, it never looks like that's going to happen. But listen, just go and get me a manager that wants to ditch this stupid formation and play players in their right positions and keep it moving. That's not a lot to ask. You know what I mean? It's not a lot to ask, because I guarantee you this, yeah. You bring a manager in that wants to play players in their right positions, you will get better performances, because this football at this club right now is the worst I've seen. And I'm saying that under Ten Hag and Solskjaer, which Solskjaer again let the players play. Ten Hag, it was embarrassing. To think that Ruben Amorim has gone worse than them. Again, Mourinho, it wasn't great either. It was boring football. Van Gaal, the football was good, you know, but a lot of fans thought it was boring. But I would honestly say under Ruben Amorim, it's the worst. And now we're seeing Diogo Dalot do long balls. This team just resorts to just putting the ball in the box. There's no build-up play, because you can't build up in midfield with the players that are in there. So why are we surprised? You know what I mean? Why are we surprised? Guys, I'm going to go through a few more of your comments before we wrap up. Make sure you're smashing the like button. There's 20 of you. We got 20 likes. So make sure you're smashing the like button. Make sure you're subbing to the channel. And make sure you share the channel. And make sure you check out all my other content as well, guys. As I said, I've got my boxing, my fight up on my members content. So again, once you guys become a member, you'll be able to view the boxing fight on there. And again, there's some posts on there that you guys might find a bit surprising, something that you didn't know about me. But yeah, listen, it's all on there on the members page. So yeah, once you guys become a member, you'll be able to view all that. So big up to Blue Boy, says he had Yamal's level of impact for United situation last season. Big up. So what I would say with Ahmad, yeah, and people might not think this, yeah, but Ahmad has just as amount of ability that Yamal does. He does. Like Ahmad is as talented as Yamal. He is. People probably won't think that because he's playing a struggling Man United team and he's playing at wing back. You know, I had someone the other day say to me in the chat, try and say to me that Ahmad is a wing back. And I was like, has Amarim really got you that confused? Like, Amad's no wing back. He's a number 10 by trade, but can play as a wide player as well. You know, I'd love to see Amad in the 10 where he does most of his work going forward. And the thing is, there's no one can say Amad can't play in the 10 because Amad's tenacious as well. He's got the quality and he's tenacious. So for me, I would love to see Amad play in the 10. But when it comes to ability, don't think that he hasn't got the ability of a Yamal. He has. But we're just having to see him play wing back. And I guarantee if Amad Diallo was playing for a team that was ball dominant, you know, that was one of the top teams in the league, you would see how good he is. Because he's being stifled at a team like Manchester United under this manager having to play wing back. It's ridiculous, man, to think that's happening. There you go. Play players in their right position, the players are comfortable. You know, we're probably the one team that doesn't do that. That doesn't play players in their right positions because this manager thinks he's smarter than everyone else. That's the problem. And he's not, you know, so Glazers, I want them out, Gav. Yeah, listen, the Glazers ain't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Like, this whole Glazer talk is pointless because, you know, fans don't help themselves. If these fans really wanted the Glazers out, you know, they would stop turning up to the games. They'll stop paying their money. But when I hear people say, let's get the Glazers out, it's just sound bites, really. Because if you really wanted the ownership out, you'll be doing drastic things. And I'm not advocating for riots and nothing like that. But in terms of not turning up to games, not paying your money, hit them where it hurts. But the problem is fans are not going to do that because fans are too invested in the club. So when you're too invested in the club, the Glazers ain't going anywhere, unfortunately. They're going to stay right where they are and continue doing what they're doing. So it's pointless. And again, myself, I can't control what the Glazers are doing, but all I can look at is what's happening on the pitch. And under this manager, we're at this absolute disgrace. We are. We're an absolute disgrace. The football, the players he plays, you know, his substitutions, his lack of accountability. There's so many things, man. There's so many things. Like, it's ridiculous. Hello, who are you, sir? So you've come onto my channel and you're asking that. Come on, man. You've come onto the channel. You're asking. Have a look at the description, man. Have a look at the handle, man. You'll see. Guys, listen. Let's make sure the chat is kept regulated, man. I don't wanna see all this nonsense in there. All this. I'm just reading some of the chats. And it's what we talking about in there. Mods, come on, do your job. If the chat's getting a bit, if it's going sideways, just make sure you're moderating the chat, yeah? Let's time him out, man. I ain't here for this rubbish. Yeah, big up to 10-0, man. Obviously, the channel's GavGoesIn, man. Football channel, Man United fan, obviously, but I'm well versed in football, past playing history as well. But yeah, we don't just talk about football on there. We talk about UFC, boxing, wrestling, any general football, really. You know what I mean? Anything really you want to talk about is free on this channel, but it's mainly a sports channel, yeah. Big up. Gav, where can I find your other content? YouTube here. So if you go onto my playlists, yeah, I've got loads of different playlists up there. Obviously, whether you want to see me playing five-a-side, scoring some goals, whether you want to see me talk about certain things, got everything Manchester United, player spotlights. Yeah, there's loads of stuff on there, man. And again, my boxing fight I done yesterday is on my members only page. So again, once you become a member, you'll be able to view my members only page and see the boxing fight. And then obviously as well, there's some posts on there which you guys might find interesting. So, and again, once we get 10 members, then I'll do a live Q&A for you guys as well. And we're going to start trying to do a live fan calling show as well. So once I get a solid few members onto the channel, yeah, I'll be giving some perks out to you guys, definitely, as a contribution to the channel. Guys, make sure we are subbing to the channel. Make sure we're smashing the like as well. And make sure you share the channel as well. Big up. Okay, so one question, Messi or Ronaldo? Listen, I get asked this all the time, and it's never going to change. Messi, Lionel Messi, Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is by far a better player than Cristiano Ronaldo. It's that simple. We can argue this all the time. It's Lionel Messi. You watched the UFC fight last night. No, I missed it, man. I was boxing. I missed it. But again, I need to get back into my UFC, man. But unfortunately, it's on late, so I can't always catch it, man. But yeah, I need to get back onto it, man. I was watching it religiously before, man. But I have to be honest, man. I'm quite like inundated with it at the moment. But yeah, no, I didn't watch it, man. I was at my boxing fight yesterday. Yeah, big up, Tron, mate. Big up for coming through. Who do you think will win the Premier League this season? I've said it, Manchester City. I've got no doubt Man City will win it. Because it wasn't too long ago, Man City was sitting in... Where were they? They were like 5th or 6th. And looking like what's going on. And it just shows you put a few wins together. Shows you how quick you can shut the table. And City now are 2 points off of Arsenal. With them still to play. And the pressure now is on Arsenal. Because Arsenal now know the next game they play, they cannot afford to lose or draw if City win their game. Because now it's level on points. So this is what I'm trying to tell you, man. This is football. You seen Smashing Machine yet, Gav? No, I haven't seen that, you know, with The Rock. No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, man. I might watch that when it comes out. I haven't seen it. Is it good, yeah? Big up to 10-0. He's now subscribed because I said Messi. Phew. Listen, if anyone thinks Ronaldo's better than Messi, then I'm sorry, man. He's just not. You know, Ronaldo's had a great career. There's no denying, you know, he's had a career that many would love to have. But when it comes to the pure footballer between him and Messi, he's nowhere near Messi. But again, a lot of these things are subjective because if you're looking at it from a pure footballing aspect, Messi's by far clear of Ronaldo. But if you want to look at it from in terms of, well, again, if you're looking at it from goals-wise, I mean, Messi, I think Ronaldo's almost close to 1,000 goals, apparently, I think, yeah. But I'm pretty sure competitive goals, Messi might be ahead or some. No, I think if his goals and assists combined, I think in Europe, I think Messi might be ahead. So again, it depends what you want to compare. But yeah, Lionel Messi for me is one of the greatest players to play the game. But then again, we can go back to different eras. But I think from the era that I've seen football, I mentioned my 3 favourite players are Messi, R9 and Ronaldinho. Because I think, and there's no surprise in all 3 of them players have won World Players of the Years, yeah? But all 3 of them players for me were by far clearly the best players in the world in their era. That's why they're my 3 favourites. And again, football for me is an entertainment business. And they're entertainers. So this is why I like them. But I also love Eden Hazard. I also love watching Neymar, Pogba, Martial. Paulo Dybala is another favourite of mine. I like to watch. Who else is there? Obviously, Yamal, Pedri. Like, these are the kind of players I like to watch. Karim Benzema, Modric, Zidane. There's been so many bad boys, man. I've even probably forgot some. Rivaldo. You know what I mean? There's loads. Big up to MKI Fake 4607 from Budapest, Hungary. Liverpool fan, listen, we're going to be live tomorrow at 5:30. So if you're a Liverpool fan, come through tomorrow at 5:30. I've got Jonas, who's a Liverpool fan as well, coming on. So you can give him his questions and we can find out what's happening with your club and a certain Mo Salah as well with his comments. Right, guys, I'm going to go through a few more of your questions and I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah, and this is the conversation that everyone says, the answer everyone says. Ronaldo done it in the Premier League, Serie A, and La Liga, which means absolutely nothing. Yeah. So what if Ronaldo done it in the Premier League, Serie A, and La Liga? Messi didn't have to do that. He done it in La Liga and done it in the hardest competition in Europe football, in the Champions League. Like, when people say that, Messi didn't have no reason to leave Barcelona. Why would you leave a club when everything is set up for you there? You don't need to go anywhere else. Like, it's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, listen, Martial's a top player, man. Like, don't be fooled. Messi wasn't great for PSG, but he was great for Barcelona. And he was great for Argentina. And he's won pure Ballon d'Ors, and he's won a World Cup, and he's won Champions League and La Ligas, and he scores goals, and he creates goals. He's a good dribbler. Like, whatever you want to say about Lionel Messi, the only thing you can say Ronaldo has above Messi, which is obvious, is that he's better in the air, and he should be. He's 6 foot. But anything else, weaker foot, you could probably say Ronaldo as well. He's weaker foot. His left foot is probably has more power than Ronaldo's right. You could probably than Messi's right. You could probably say that. But from a footballing aspect, in terms of, a pure footballer, a better dribbler, better passer, more creative, more decisive in moments, it's Lionel Messi, man. Like, it is. It is. But this is a debate that will go on forever because you got Messi fans, you got Ronaldo fans. I'm just a pure footballing fan. And Messi is someone that gives me entertainment. I preferred Ronaldo at Manchester United when he was a winger. When he went to being a forward at Real Madrid to just get in numbers to keep relevant with Messi, that's when the Ronaldo that I remember wasn't that. He was just on goals because he knew goals would keep him in the talk for the Ballon d'Or and keep him relevant with Messi. But the Ballon d'Or should be for the best pure player, which is why when you see the likes of Ronaldinho, Zidane, R9 and them players winning it, not only are them guys pure footballers, they're entertainers, this is why, man, they were winning trophies as well. But what's happened now with the Ballon d'Or, it's gone on to numbers more like now. And that was created by Messi and Ronaldo, really, Can you guess which club I support? 10-0 says Barcelona. But again, Barca's my team, man. I've been watching Barca when they had the likes of Javier Saviola, Rivaldo, Patrick Kluivert, Philip Cocu, Michael Reisinger, Bauder Wijnaldum. I'm going way back now. You know what I mean? Way back. Romario. They had some players. Like, I'm telling you, man. Like, and then Messi, Suarez, Neymar, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Puyol, Piqué, Dani Alves, Eric Abidal, Seydou Keita. You know what I mean? Obviously, more recent, Yamal, Pedri. Like, they've had some top players, Barca. And, yeah, because before, I used to be Real Madrid because of R9. And then I'll tell you what changed it for me. When Real Madrid had R9 and Zidane, Galacticos, Beckham coming through there as well. Players like Julio Baptista was there as well, Michael Owen, Raul, Ramos. I mean, they've had some bad boys, Real Madrid. But what changed it for me was when, and again, if you're a pure footballing fan, you'll know this one, was when Ronaldinho went to the Bernabeu and got a standing ovation. And I watched that game being a Real Madrid fan because of R9 and Zidane. And that day, that's when I thought, nah, I've got to take more of an interest in this Barcelona team. Because what Ronaldinho done that day, and he done it to arguably one of the greatest ever defenders in Sergio Ramos, he absolutely destroyed Real Madrid. And he got a standing ovation. So, yeah. That's what I got to say about that, man. You're going to be a commentator in the next World Cup? Yeah, I am, man. I've got my my position, man, for the commentator for the next World Cup, yeah. So I'm going to America to commentate on the on a few of the games, yeah, man. So it'd be good. Martial's a top player compared to me and you, maybe. Now, listen, you can do the laughing you want, man. Martial was a top player. Like, if you don't think Martial was a top player, it's telling me the kind of players that you do rate. Because you're probably someone that rates Jude Bellingham and Bruno Fernandes and all these kind of dead players. So again, don't think of Martial's time at Manchester United as him not being a top player. It was injuries, the club, that curtailed his career at United. But there's no one that can tell that Martial wasn't a talented footballer, because he was. But just look at a lot of players that fell at Manchester United. It isn't the player, it's the club. It's the whole setup of the club and the managers that have been brought in. So, again, man, let's not do that. A year with Ruben Amorim, what do you think? Absolute disgrace. 13 wins in 12 months is sackable. Should have been sacked on the spot for that alone. Losing to Tottenham Hotspur in the Europa League final, should have been sacked. Finishing 15th in Manchester United in the league, should have been sacked. Losing to Grimsby Town, should have walked home from the stadium. So, yeah, it's been an embarrassment with this manager in. And as I said, there's loads of people that want to give this manager excuse after excuse, but you're not getting that. You're not getting that here on this channel. I'll tell you that for free. And as I said, if he loses to Wolves, they have to pull the plug, man. No doubt. Gav, did you ever play with Ravel Morrison, and your thoughts on him? Could he have made the elite? No, you know what? I didn't play against Ravel Morrison. He was younger than me at the time, but my age group, as you guys would know, was who I've played against was Rooney and Samir Nasri. Samir Nasri is probably the best player I played against in youth football when he was at Marseille. But Rooney was ridiculous, man. So, but yeah, Ravel Morrison was younger than me. But I'll tell you this now. You've heard Ferguson say it anyway. Ravel Morrison was one of the most talented players to come through United's academy. And he was, man. The only thing that let Ravel Morrison down was what was going on behind the scenes in terms of the background, which obviously I don't know. But, there was a lot of issues behind the scenes with Ravel Morrison. But in terms of his ability, the guy had it all, man. He had it all. And it's a shame that a player with that ability didn't make the most of his career, But these things happen in football, man. They happen. So it's unfortunate, Yeah, listen, big up Fitz, man. Yeah, listen, these are the names. Stoichkov, Georgie Hadji, Ronald Koeman. Yeah, listen, man. Them Barca players they've had, man, is not normal, man. Not normal. So, what about the Ronaldo interview? What, with Piers Morgan? Yeah, but that was about Ronaldo, innit? Like, the fact that Man United brought Ronaldo back in the first place was the problem. They got shook because they thought Man City were going to buy Ronaldo. Man City would never buy Ronaldo. Like, that's the biggest nonsense I've ever heard. But the fact that Man United actually went and bought Ronaldo when there was no need to was part of the problem, man. So, yeah. But the one thing he done was expose Ten Hag for the fraud that he is, but we knew that anyway. Ah, David Villa. How can I forget David Villa? Big up to Blue Boy. David Villa was one of my favourite players, man. David Villa was ridiculous, you know. That Spain team, yeah, with David Villa, David Silva, Iniesta, Xavi, I think, was Busquets breaking through, or was it Xabi Alonso and Marcos Senna, Fernando Torres? Listen, David Villa was ridiculous. And you know what, yeah? This is what I'm trying to tell you about Messi, yeah? David Villa was, before David Villa went to Barcelona, he was one of the top strikers in the world, yeah? And David Villa had to adapt his game to play him from the left so Messi could play the false nine. And again, if anyone remembers that season, Messi, that's when Messi got 91 goals in a calendar year. He had Pedro and David Villa either side. Pedro was on the right, David Villa was on the left. You know, but David Villa was a top player. At Valencia, yeah, he was dangerous. And Valencia had David Villa, David Silva, and I'm not sure if Mata was there at the time. Mata might have been coming through, or they might have had someone else. I think Joaquin was on the right, and they had a guy called Vicente, I think it was, on the left. And I think Mata come through. I think Mata come through after David Silva left, actually. But that Valencia team there, dangerous. Dangerous, man. Yeah, listen, Barca's defense is poor, man. Well, it's not poor, yeah, but that high line needs to be sorted out. You know, for me, Ronald Arroyo, I think he's a top defender. You know, I liken him to Virgil van Dijk in terms of his stature. Kabasi's young, but the high line that they've got, you know, Koundé's got pace, Balde's got pace, Arroyo's got pace as well. But that high line, they got to sort it out. But that's how Flick plays, and it's gonna work or it's not gonna work. So for me, they need to definitely sort that out, because if they play against any of the other teams in Champions League later on, later stages, with that same high line, they're going to come unstuck again. Because last season against Inter Milan, they should have won that game. But the fact they allowed Inter Milan to beat them because of that high line in the end is what done it for them. But yeah, man, it's crazy. But guys, listen up. We're going to wrap it up anyway. Been going for a little while. Big up yourselves for coming through. Big up to all the newcomers as well. And big up to all the mods as always. Guys, make sure you smash the like button if you've enjoyed the stream today. Make sure you share the channel and make sure you sub to the channel as well. And as I said, I've got my my boxing fight that is on my channel now. It's on the members only section. So again, once you guys become a member, if you want to or not, then you'll be able to view my fight from yesterday, from last night, and also some other content that I've got on there already. And as I previously mentioned, you know, if once I get 10 members on there, I'll be doing a live Q&A and possibly doing a live fan calling show as well at some point. So so 10 zeros is how to become a member. So yeah, listen, if you go on to once you become a subscriber, once you go on to there, it should be, all the information should be on there. So there should be a button on there to click to become a member, which is affordable as well. So you got 3 stages. So yeah, just have a look on there once you've subbed. All the info's on there. So as I said, man, once you guys become a member, you'll be able to view the content that's on there. And as I said, guys, I'm live tomorrow at normal. So I'm not sure if I got my normal 12:30 stream in the morning, but definitely live at 5:30 with Jonas, who's a Liverpool fan, and with Fitz as well, who's obviously in the chat right now. So yeah, make sure you guys come through tomorrow at 5:30. Give us your support as always. And we're going to get onto some Liverpool talk with Jonas, man, because as I said, man, it's all coming out now with Mo Salah. You know, his team are in problems as well. Another draw, late equaliser from Leeds. So we're going to get his take on that. And as always, we're going to react to the weekend results as well. And obviously, Man United playing tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So yeah, listen, it's going to be interesting tomorrow, but we're going to see what happens, man. But But yeah, as I said, yeah, make sure you guys come and follow us tomorrow. But yeah, make sure your notifications are on as well. And make sure, guys, you check your notifications, because I know YouTube have changed it to personalize. So you might want to change it to all to see when I go live. But as I said, I'm normally live in the morning around 12:30. I'm not sure if I'm live tomorrow at 12:30, but I'll definitely be back at 5:30 tomorrow. So yeah, make sure you guys come through and give your support. And as I said, guys, big up yourselves each and every time for coming through. And as I said, Man United tomorrow, I'm gonna stick to 2-1. I think Wolves beat United 2-1. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just not confident with this manager, with this team. So we'll have to wait and see, man. But as I said, if Man United don't win tomorrow, he has to be sacked on the spot, in the tunnel. You know, I don't want to see this guy in another press conference. So, yeah, let's see what happens. But, guys, big up yourselves. Smash the like button, sub to the channel, share the channel. And, yeah, I'll catch you guys definitely tomorrow. Take it easy.